Today I bring you the Broken Meta 352 tested with 4 very different teams. If you do enjoy the tactics on this channel, be sure to leave a like, drop a little subscription, and be sure to check out the live streams as well. You can see it on the screen now. Let's get in to the first team, which is going to be the powerhouse Celtic. That is right, first up is going to be Celtic, obviously over in the Scottish division, and we enjoyed a fantastic season. We won 33 games out of a potential 38, also picking up 4 draws and 1 loss, which unfortunately I did play myself. That is against Hearts in a 1-0 away defeat, which it is what it is. We still had an incredible season. I'm not too fussed. In terms of the player stats, you can see right now, we were definitely up there. We didn't pick up the top goal scorer out of the entire league, but we did pick up 2nd and 3rd place. In terms of the average ratings, a treble for us. We're going to take that. And also assists. We're going to have 2 players in the top 3. We love to see that as well. So overall, not a bad season at all. In the competitions tab as well, we did win the Scottish Cup and the Viaplay Cup, so it is technically a treble winning season. That is a treble of Scottish trophies. In terms of the Champions League, got out the groups with relevant ease, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, Feyenoord just about edged us, and we couldn't get past them. But we're not going to complain. It's still a fantastic treble winning season. Stats wise, though, we are going to be incredibly dominant. We're going to feature in almost every single stat bar 2. The most points at 2.71, the most goals at 106, the fewest shots against at 134, the most shots for at 884, the best pass completion at 89%, the most possession at 66, the fewest conceded at 9, and also the most clean sheets coming in at 30. So very, very dominant, not only defensively, clearly we can ping the ball around with very good tactical skill as well, with 66% of the ball. Quite dominant over everyone, I think. Yeah, quite convincing as well. And we're also scoring goals. We're doing everything. Hub-wise, you're going to see how good we were defensively. A 0.24 conceded. Now, it is not meant to be the most offensive tactic, but because we had so much of the ball, and obviously we are one of the best teams in the league, that does go in our favour as well. We did score 2.79, so scoring way over 2+ goals to what we are going to be conceding. Over 23 shots a game. A pass completion of 89.30, an attacker win ratio of 75.81. Over to Germany now with Borussia Dortmund, one of my favourite teams to test with in this league, and we enjoyed a sublime season as we do actually win 30 games out of a potential 34, drawing 3, and again the 1 loss this time it is going to be against Bayer Leverkusen away. That is going to be 2 games that splits from having 2 invincible seasons, so a little bit gutting, but I'm going to include it in the video because they are incredible seasons anyway. In terms of the players stats on this occasion, it is going to be Sebastian Haller coming in with 18 goals, ranking him rank 1 out of everyone across the league. Average ratings, we pick up 1st and 3rd place with Haller and also Wolf coming in. And assists, one of my personal favourites to pick up in this game. That is going to be Julian Brandt coming in, who's a fantastic option. So definitely pick him up if you can afford him. So overall, not a bad season. And on top of this, we actually also bring home the Pockle, which we love to see as well. Again, Champions League, we just simply couldn't get over it in this video. Don't know what it was, the Champions League curse. But it's 2 very impressive seasons. I'm going to take it. Over to the league stats, we're not going to pick up as many as, obviously, with Celtic, because we're not the real powerhouse in this league. But we do pick up 6, which is still very impressive. That is going to be 2.74, most goals at 80, fewer shots against at 153, the most shots at 624, the most clean sheets at 24, and also the fewest conceded coming in at 11. So again, very similar patterns of sort of style in terms of how good we are defensively, how good we are at attacking. Possession-wise, we weren't horrific, 56% of the ball, but obviously when you got teams like Bayer Leverkusen, who are dedicated to possession football, and teams just like Bayern, who have got incredible players, you're never really going to rank 1, so we're going to take it and run. And a data hub again, we're going to see an incredible defensive display, 0.32 conceded, over 18 shots a game, a pass completion of 88.92, and just over the 2-goal mark per game. And probably one of the biggest criticisms on this channel is that I don't include enough mid-table Premier League teams, so I'm going to try and get that more and more involved. Let me know in the comments if you believe that should be in the video more often than what it usually is. This time it is going to be with Fulham, where we actually got them in the Champions League. Yes, it is by 1 point, but still, in the Champions League first season, no signings, we're not going to complain at all. We're not going to feature in many other stats apart from finishing 4th, as to be expected with Fulham, but we got the job done. For Cups, not as pretty, but to be honest, I was just happy we got in the Champions League. Honestly, being real, I was hoping to get inside of the top 7, maybe pick up that Europa Conference League spot, but to get Champions League football, obviously Carlos Vinicius played a big part in this success. We've got to take it because I think that's remarkable. Wasn't really too much to show you on the team stats because obviously we're not going to be up there with Man City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Brighton, all the teams that are better than us, the list goes on. But data hub wise, we nearly scored bang on double to what we are going to be conceding. Conceded sitting at 1 exact goal per game, 1.95 conceded, just over 13 shots a game, actually edging towards 14, and an 88.66 pass completion. Lastly, the real underdog of the video. This is going to be a team predicted to finish 19th, almost rock bottom. That is going to be with Lecco. Now, with this team, we didn't get a clean promotion, as in finishing the top 2, but what we did do is get into the playoffs, and we actually went all the way through and won the playoffs against Spezia in quite convincing fashion. That's 5-1 over 2 legs. We didn't really dominate the league in terms of individual player quality, in terms of the top goal scorers, etc, etc. But reminder, we are predicted to finish in literally basically the relegation places. So we have come out, gained promotion in one season. With obviously no sign, it's not they had money anyway. This tactic's really cooking. Data hub wise, I'm absolutely thrilled that it's under a goal a game at 0.9, over 13, basically 14 shots per game, an 89.11% pass completion, 1.74 goals a game, and a 76.47 tackle win ratio. We had some impressive results with this Fulham team against some real big teams. The first one is going to be Manchester United, where the game went on quite slow, to be honest. They got a sending off here. You can see here it's going to be Diego Dalot red card inside of the 40th minute. But we took advantage of that in the second half and actually won the game 2-0 away. Absolute scenes here. It's going to be a very well-worked goal, to be honest, and a beautiful finish. Nothing Onana could have done there. As we go more direct on this occasion, the United back line is always falling asleep. We're used to seeing that in real life, and Tete gets a tap-in. So against teams like Arsenal, away from home again, and I am showing you these games, they might not have 7-8 goals in them, but it does show how good this tactic is against big teams, and Manchester United, Arsenal, 2 of the hardest teams in the Premier League on this game, and we just made light work of both of them. I mean, we're not afraid to press, we're not afraid to get stuck in, and Carlos Vinicius played such a big part. The last goal there coming in from Diop, it's dominance. Last of the highlights for Fulham, even a 2-0 win against Chelsea at home. Granted, it is going to be from a set piece. Does it matter? Not at all. We're not going to care how the goals go in with this team, as it is going to be Castagna down the left-hand side, a ball in into Raul Jimenez, and it's 3 giants been killed. You know what time it is? It's now going to be time for the tactic breakdown, your favourite part of the video. I do want to quickly say, if you're enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoy live streams, you can come over to this link on the screen and check out the content we have over there as well. And if you do want to download these tactics, as in all 3 variants today, you can get them very quickly by joining the Patreon. Link is going to be in the description below. Not only do you get this, you get early access to the tactics, early video release, priority in your tactic and rebuild requests. You get one-on-one tactical help, and there's so much more. Giveaways, we've got a giveaway going on at the moment, which does expire on the 10th. So you've got enough time to enter if you were to sign up pretty soon. It is going to be a mystery shirt and also a copy of FM as a joint bundle. So it really is a good giveaway. All paid tiers do enter. But let's go ahead and break down the meta 3-5-2. So starting off with the sweeper keeper then, he is going to be nice and simple on the default role. Nothing really to talk about there. Then the back 3 is going to be a bit of a mixture because we do have one ball playing defender on the right who is going to be on tackle harder. Then we actually have a ball playing defender on cover, just to sit a little bit deeper. So we have 2 either side, a little bit more pushed up, 1 sitting back to obviously protect the back line, and it works really well as a trio, so I would highly recommend playing this way. And next to him, a ball playing defender on defend, again on tackle harder, exactly the same as on the right hand side. Now, the wing-backs, complete wing-backs, I had to make the decision. For me, I went with wing-backs because, to be honest, it favoured Celtic quite well in my opinion, and I just took it through the entire teams, and it worked. So it sort of is dependent on what sort of wing-back you have, whether they're better as a complete wing-back or obviously just a wing-back. But for me, the wing-back is the main one which I want to go for. It's going to be on attack, on cross-aim centre, dribble more, run wide, and also tackle harder. And that is going to be the same for the right and the left-hand side. So nothing too special. They are a special role, don't get me wrong. Like, these players by far got some of the most assists, and also just they provide the width in the team. So if I was going to say one thing, to play a 3-5-2, you need to have good fullbacks. They don't have to be Trent and Robertson, but they have got to have some attacking ability about them. Otherwise, you're not really going to get the best out of this tactic. In the middle, it is going to be a DM simply on support. We've got to have a few basic roles in this team, and that is going to be one of them. And he is simply going to be on tackle harder. Moving up the field, one of my favourite roles in the game, that is going to be a box-to-box on support, on take more risks, get further forwards, move into channels, and also tackle harder. Now, if you are playing as a very if you're playing as like a Luton, a relegation Premier League team, I might not suggest having a box-to-box on there, because obviously he is going to get forward, he's going to be taking a lot of risks, this player. So I would recommend you could change him potentially simply to a nice and simple central midfield player, make him relatively risk-free, shorter passing, take fewer risks. You know the vibe. We do it a lot on this channel, really. But if you can get away with it, I would try and keep him in here, because obviously it does help score the goals, and obviously removing this player would have took out that one additional player we have going forwards. And next to him is going to be a Mezzala on support, on dribble more. Moving up to the top two, we're going to have a target forward simply on support. Again, I know a lot of people might not like using a target forward. Maybe you've got no tall strikers. You could have two advanced forwards and simply go for the in-behind route. But if you can, this does work really well, believe it or not, because you've got one player to almost get the ball to, he'll hold it up as it literally says on the tin, and he'll play through the advanced forward, who is going to be on attack, on shoot more often. And now over to the team instructions. This is all based off a vertical tiki-taka style, by the way. A vertical tiki-taka on the positive mentality. We are simply going to leave it on fairly wide. We are going to pass the ball into space, because although it is a tiki-taka style, we're not afraid to go a little bit more direct, play it into areas of space if they do occur. We're going to play out from the back because we've got 3 ball-playing defenders. It'd be stupid not to. We're going to go shorter with the directness, and we are going to max out the tempo to higher. So it is an aggressive tactic. It is going to be a very fast-paced way of playing, but it does get fantastic results. Now, something you might not usually see with meta tactics, especially on this channel, I rarely use it, is going to be the addition of hit early crosses. Now, this sort of contradicts a little bit about that tiki-taka style, but essentially, I want the tiki-taka side to be relevant, as in passing around the midfield, but when we do get it into a wide area, whether that be with a Mezzala or with a wing-back, I want them to get the ball in the box, because not only have we got the advanced forward, we've got a target forward, so the ball needs to get into the box, hence why that is going to be on. And that is going to be your in possession. In transition, we've got a few things to talk about. The first one is going to obviously be counter. We are going to be a counter-attacking team, hence why that vertical tiki-taka is quite good partnered alongside of the pass into space, because we are going to play it about lovely, but when there is a run in behind, we're lumping it forward. And that's what we need to do when we're playing with teams like Fulham, like Lecco, simply try and get some goals in the back of the net. We are also going to play with a counter-pressing style, and we are going to play to the centre-backs. Obviously, we have 3 with short goal kicks. Lastly, we are actually going to roll with the high pressing line of engagement, a higher defensive line, push the team up. We're going to get stuck in. We're going to put pressure on the goalkeeper because we've got 2 strikers up there. May as well make him a little bit nervous. And we're going to max out that trigger press. Also, when you are playing with a powerhouse team, the Scottish Cup final, a 6-0 win with Celtic, and the goals we scored were simply beautiful. I mean, look at that little 1-2 zip-zap on the left-hand side, back in the middle, and Kyogo is some player, I will say. And whenever I use him in this Celtic team, he's absolutely incredible. And we're actually favouring the left-hand side quite a lot this game, so must have been a bit of a weakness for the opposition, as it is going to be 2 out of 2 coming through the left-hand side. Onto the right now, I guess, with Johnston through into Rio, and that is a great goal. Sometimes playing the most simple type of football is the best way, and you're seeing here the first 3 goals, yeah, they've been really good play, but they've not been overcomplicated. When we need to get the ball in the back of the net, or sorry, into a goal-scoring position, we are doing it with relative ease, and this game was done way before the second half, but the last goal here wraps it up. Obviously, we have got an attacking variant to go over right now, and we are also going to go over an away game sort of variant / defensive, however you want to say it. So this attacking variant is designed to be used for when you are a goal down. I wouldn't really recommend going into a game like this because it's going to be very attacking, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So the goalkeeper and the back 3 remain exactly the same, including the wing-backs. They actually remain untouched as well because they are already very attacking. Not much really more you can do with them. The DM gets scrapped for a deep line playmaker. I like having a player like this in the team because he is going to be very forward thinking. He's going to get the ball moving very quickly going forwards, and that's what you need in an attacking tactic. Moving up the pitch, the box to box does get scrapped. We're going to go with a roaming playmaker simply to roam and playmake. cricket noises are coming in. That's exactly what we want him in the team for, to move into channels and also tackle harder. The Mezzala's going to come in on attack as well, on dribble more, so he goes from a support to an attacking duty. And these two up top do actually remain unchanged. So obviously all of the changes are done outside of that defensive line, but the changes we make are big. And over to the team instructions, it is going to be on an attacking mentality, and there are going to be a couple of bigger changes. We are simply going to go with the run at defense, and we are also going to apply the be more expressive. Now, what this does is going to let your players have a lot more freedom, and also when we have got the ball, we are going to run at them. So we're not going to have as much possession, but we are going to fly at them and really cause some issues. So a complete different way of playing, but it is going to get you goals. In transition, one very, very simple change. That is going to be distribute quickly. And out of possession, we're going to have the higher line, the high press and line of engagement. These two remain the same. We're going to get stuck in, but this time we are also going to step up more and really push that team up the field, because there's a little bit of urgency now. We need to score a goal. Showing you earlier with Fulham how we were beating big teams, and it's exactly the same with Dortmund against Bayern Munich, away from home again, and we were absolutely tearing big teams apart with this tactic. We really were. That's a fantastic goal, by the way. That's why I favour this guy so much. If you can afford him, get him in, because he's absolutely nuts. We go again here with a great ball from Schlotterbeck in behind, and the Bayern defence has caught Nappen. We're not afraid to do that, and another set piece comes in, and it's beautiful. We're going to take it. What a game. Let's go over to that defensive variant. And yes, it is going to look incredibly different. And it is because this one is to be... I'm actually going to say this is more to actually defend a game out than go into a game with, because it's very, very negative, and it is your traditional. It almost translates into a 5-back, to be honest. The goalkeeper remains the same, and so does this back three here. The first change is going to be the wing-back, who still is going to be running wide, still is going to be aiming his crosses, at the centre, and also is going to be tackling harder, the same on the right and the left, but they are now going to be on defend, which means they are going to be taking fewer risks, they are going to cross from deep, and they are also going to hold their position. So it does mean that they're not going to get forward too much at all, and they are almost going to form, they're not going to be back here all the time, but they are going to almost form a 5-back now, and partnering that with this new DM, who is going to be on defend, on tackle harder, we're going to have, potentially, a back 6. Now, this is going to be incredible for defending a game out. I rarely go down the path of shutting up shop, but with a 3 at the back, sometimes you need to play like this, and we have still got players that can obviously create chances. We've got 4 here that are going to be great at doing that, and the team instructions are going to explain this a lot more better and to why we have made these changes, so we'll go over them in a second. But playing like this is going to be incredibly defensively solid. Next up is going to be a central midfield player on support, on pass it shorter, take fewer risks, dribble less, shoot less often, and hold position. Essentially, just someone that is going to be a very risk-free central midfield player. It's going to pick up the ball and get it to the next man. Simple as that. Next up, we are going to go with a box-to-box, and it might surprise you, because you're like, Josh's defensive tactic, why are you going to want to play that is going to go up the pitch as well? Good question, but we do need one player that is going to get involved in the attacks, and the box-to-box is the perfect option for this, because he will go forwards, but also he does come backwards. So we're not going to have purely a dedicated attacker midfield player, but one which can do it when required. And to finish it off, the target forward and the advanced sword, which remains unchanged in all 3 variants. Team instructions, and yes, there's a big change. We're going to go with a positive mentality. On this occasion, we're going to go with fairly narrow on the attack and width to compress the team, make them a lot more compact. We are going to go with pass into space. Play out of defence, we're still going to remain because, again, 3 ball playing defenders, and now the wing-backs are going to be on defend anyway, so they're naturally going to be a little bit deeper as well. We are going to go with a slightly higher tempo, so that's going to be lowered quite significantly, and we are going to go slightly more direct. So we've gone down the path of almost sitting back a little bit, not applying as much pressure. When we do have the ball, we are going to go long to that target forward, and obviously he can knock it down to potentially one of the midfield players or the advanced sword next to him. We're still going to hit early crosses, and mixed crosses are going to be the cross of choice. Transition, we're still going to counter press because we don't want to be completely stagnant. We are going to counter when we've won the ball, and you can see here the players that are going to get forwards. It's going to be the wing backs, the 2 centre mids, or the centre mid, and the box to box, and obviously these 2 players here. We are also going to go with distribute to centre-backs and take short goal kicks. Lastly, and it is going to look a little bit negative, but we are going to go with a standard defensive line, the mid-block line of engagement more often, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And that is going to give you guys 3 fantastic variants of the Meta 352, one of my favourite formations in the game last year, fun fact. And if you guys have got any other formations you want to see a part of this series, do let me know. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. I know it might not be your go-to 4-2-3-1, but it is nice to switch up formations. So if you have, be sure to leave a like, drop a little subscription, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, here are going to be a couple more videos I'm sure you're going to love. Down here, you're going to see my previous video, and here is going to be a video I personally recommend for you guys to check out. Trust me, you're going to love it.